Tonight on Stand Up for the Week, Jack Whitehall, John Richardson, Andy Usher, Rich Hall, and tonight's special guest, Sean Walsh. But now, please welcome your host, Kevin Bridges.
Hello and welcome to Stand Up for the Week, the show featuring the country's top comedians giving their take on the week's news, and it's been a good week. A lot of funny stuff happening in the news this week. We've had the constant threat of civil war in Libya and Bahrain. We've had an earthquake, a tsunami and a potential nuclear disaster in Japan. So, as a topical comedy show, we've pretty much hit the jackpot. Have you been watching the Japan coverage? This guy, right here, have you been watching it?
Sky News.
Sky News. It's the only place to watch a disaster, and it's Sky News. They know how to do a catastrophe, Sky News. You turn it on and they've got reporters and cameras right in the face of the devastation, interviewing people in the heart of the carnage. And then you turn to somewhere like Channel 5 News. Well, welcome. You join us live from the Stoke Newington branch of Yosuji. Where we're going to try and attempt to interview the head chef, who is actually South Korean. But it's close enough for us. So, the clock, the 500-day countdown to the Olympic clock broke this week. Even the clock counting down to the Olympics does not give a fuck about the Olympics. I prefer the Olympic Games when it's abroad, when there's a time difference. And there's nothing better as a man when it's 3:30 in the morning and you're watching the women's beach volleyball, eating a cold pizza and nursing a chubby. You know, if you do that at 3:30 in the afternoon, you're going to get the sack, aren't you? Olympic tickets went on sale. Are we excited about that in London? Anybody from further afield? This guy. Further afield.
Swansea!
Where are you from?
Swansea!
Swansea? What's your name, Swansea guy?
It's Chris.
Chris. What do you do for a living, Chris?
I construct and erect toboggans.
You construct and erect
Toboggans, I do.
I love a guy that just took his opportunity to say erect on the TV. You ever been on a toboggan when it's been snowing? I was old school in the snow. I liked a bit of olive oil on a bin bag. That was me. Oh. So you make toboggans?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Look me in the eye and tell me you're telling the truth. You make toboggans. Yeah. You're bullshitting me, aren't you, John? One of his mates, grass him up. What does he do for a living?
Rugby development officer.
He's a rugby development officer.
Toboggans was a side thing.
That's your dream, to erect toboggans. He's a rugby development officer, but a rugby development officer with a bit of hope in his heart. And one day he can build a toboggan. How you doing? The guy there, what's your name?
Lawrence.
Lawrence, of course it is. Lawrence, of course. The stench of wealth is overwhelming from this guy. You've knocked it off the lady with these four, eh? 4 guys and 1 girl. The rugby player's going, ha 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 ha. Who's holding the video camera? Ha ha ha. She is. It's time for a look at this week's celebrity news of our very own heat-reading comedy missile. Give it up for the wonderful Jack Whitehall.
The big story this week is the Midsummer Murders race row. Oh yeah. The creator of Midsummer Murders has been suspended for his comments claiming that his all-whites casting policy was essential to the success of his show. Wow. The way he's talking about it, anyone would have thought ITV are trying to force him to rewrite it like the fucking Wire. It's like, all they want is like one black character, a Chinese guy in the back of shot. That's all they need. It's not like they're trying to force him to recast DCI Barnaby with Eddie Murphy. Quickly, you have to come. The bastard's thrown himself from the top of the bell tower. Get the fuck out of here. Do you know what I feel sorry for? I feel sorry for the first black guy that ends up living in the village of Midsummer. That's going to be a nightmare, isn't it? Every time there's a murder, being the first person called into question. Do you know why you're here? Is it because I'm black? Yes! Where were you when the murder was committed? In a cell, not being charged for last episode's one. What I find weird as well isn't this their tipping point as well? You would have thought if you lived in the village of Midsummer, you'd be pretty laid back. You've been through quite a lot of shit. There's been a lot of murders there, but it's the black person that you can't handle. It's like they're saying, yes, well, I can handle someone dying every week, but a Nigerian vicar? What's that going to do to house prices? Bring out the Wicker Man. We'll burn the village's homosexual whilst we're at it. But he's your son, Douglas. He was, Nancy. Also, if the black guy had committed the crime, it would be impossible to find him, because there would be no witnesses, because people that are that posh find it impossible to describe black people. No, it's true. Like my mum, all right? She's quite posh, sort of middle-aged white woman. She finds it impossible to describe any of my black friends. It's ridiculous. She will describe literally everything else about them before she describes their race. She's like, yeah, that friend of yours, you know the friend of yours, the tall one, the very tall one. It's very tall. You know the one with he's got feet. He's got 2 feet, you know. The one that's got 2 feet is very tall, very dark hair. The dark-haired one, the tall one with the feet and the dark hair. You know the one that I'm talking about, Mum. You're going to have to be a little bit more specific. Come on, Mum, spit it out. He's a black man. Anthony, Mum. Yes, Anthony. Where's he living now? Unlike you, Mum, in the 21st century. A lot of shows have ended this week as well. A lot of season finales. Skins has ended this week. I watched Skins. This has been a sort of hit and miss series for me. They've had a lot of problems, the creators of Skins, as well, because they've tried to sell it to America, and in America, they didn't like it. Yeah, there was a lot of controversy. People in America said Skins was unrealistic because all of the children were having sex and getting drunk. Oh, boo-hoo, America. I'm sorry, our stupid English writers coming up with ridiculously far-fetched scenarios where teenagers get drunk and have sex with each other rather than shooting their classmates whilst being fucking fat. This week also saw the end of one of my favourite shows, Take Me Out. Has anyone watched Take Me Out? Take Me Out is brilliant. A lot of people say, oh, Take Me Out is a cruel show. It's inhumane. I don't think it's cruel. I happen to know for a fact it's very humane, Take Me Out. At the end of the series, those 20 girls are all released back out into the wild. It's not... I love watching Take Me Out, though, because I love watching it for that. There's always that one girl, isn't there, that the light is never going out. She is determined to get a date. Like Karen from Gateshead. She's normally got a boss eye and's a little bit slow. How many weeks have you been on the show, Karen? 3 years. Anything could come down that lift. That lift could produce a man with no arms or legs or even a fucking head. That light's not going out unless the bulb blows. His special skill's gonorrhea. I still like it, I still like it. The only way you're getting her out of that studio is if you were to literally take her out. There's also the final episode this week of Heston Blumenthal's Mission Impossible. Yeah, he's been performing impossible missions. He's created a hot dog for a cinema chain, shepherd's pie for British Airways, and a ready meal for the British Navy. Right, not really Mission Impossible, is it? That show should be called Mission Entirely Feasible. A culinary Mission Impossible would be trying to get Victoria Beckham into a Greggs. Or Eamon Holmes out of one. That's a Mission Impossible. The stuff you're doing is not impossible. I've been to his restaurant. I went for my birthday. I got really excited. It's ridiculous. It's complete bullshit. He's one of those annoying chefs that refuses to serve anything on a plate and then just dresses it up with stupid fancy language. Like he brings you something like, this is sounds of the ocean. It's fucking sushi on a brick. Absolutely. You have to put in an iPod and listen to the sound of waves. I tried to keep the iPod so I could drown out the bullshit that the waiter was spouting me about every other fucking course. Our next dish here is called Mad Hatter's Tea Party. Within your mug is a sachet of dreams onto which you pour boiling water, which will create a bubbling broth to evoke the memories of childhood. It's a fucking cup of soup! That has been the end of my celebrity news. Thank you very much for listening to me. Good night.
Still to come, Rich Hall, Andy Usher, John Richardson, and tonight's special guest, Sean Walsh.
Welcome back to Stand Up for the Week. Are we having a good time? It was announced this week, before I crack on, it's announced that mobile phone charges are to be reduced from 4 pence a minute to 1p a minute to call different networks. Pretty good. Pretty good to anybody who's still on pay-as-you-go. It's quite good. What kind of phone have you got? The guy there.
iPhone.
iPhone. Any good apps?
Loads.
What was that?
Fake calls.
Fake calls. What does that mean? Oh, you've kid on.
If you're on a date, he can call you, and then that way you can get out of it.
Does anybody know there's a service for this? How does it know when you need a fake call?
You set a time.
You say, so you're presuming the date's going to be a car crash. What a bitch. Right, so you're... I'm trying to think. So what happens? The phone rings and then the rest is up to you.
Yeah, you pretend. You basically say, home is phoning me, and so home will come up in the photo.
All right. So it looks real. All right, you don't need an app for that. I've got a thing called Friends to use. Just text your mate. On that note, are you ready to crack on with the show? Time now to put your opinions and world views in the bin, because whatever you think, I can assure you it's probably wrong. If you want to really know the truth, there's only one man to tell it to you. Give it up for the wonderful Rich Hall.
Thank you. My job on the show is to make light of the big news story of the week. Japan, yeah. Obviously, the grief and the destruction is it's beyond comment, ladies and gentlemen, and not to mention the threat of a nuclear core meltdown. And so I watched the UN official earlier this week, and he said it can't get any worse. But I think we're all thinking, yes, it can, because we're talking about radiation and we're talking about Japan. No one wants to say it, but everyone is thinking it deep down in the deep recesses of their mind. Mothra. That's right. Any 60s sci-fi nerd in this room knows that Mothra is a big fucking bug that was born on a Japanese island that had been subjected to too much atomic testing. Now, that was the 60s. In the 60s, you could fight Mothra with some atomic death rays and a bit of luck and ingenuity. This is 2011. If Mothra came back today, it would be one international bureaucratic clusterfuck, ladies and gentlemen. Japanese would have to appeal to the UN, and the UN would dither for months and finally agree to condemn the giant moth and then freeze its financial assets. Now it has no access to a bank card, and then David Cameron tries to impose a no-fly, no-malt zone over Japan. Nobody gives a fuck because they're not even sure who he is. But the moth is attracted to a summer-weight woolen suit and wants to meet him. So he applies to Britain for asylum under the special status that he's a giant gypsy moth, and so he attempts to fly to Heathrow, but there's protesters because of the high-pitched drone is a noise ordinance, and they've lined the runways in cedar, so he's forced to divert to Luton, where he's told he's going to have to take a 3-hour fucking bus ride to London. And now he's starting to get an inkling of the stultifying fucking diet of disappointment that is everyday life in Britain. So he gets drunk at the airport bar and then attempts to wander out onto the runway and rape an EasyJet. Then he's consumed with that shame and degradation that we all feel when we get off of an EasyJet flight. And he ends up drunk and passed out and wakes up in his own silk, and now he's arguing with a wino in a doorway over a sleeping bag because he thinks it's his prepubescent larva. Give me that! And he's not terrifying, he's just a fucking nuisance. Then some 60s sci-fi geek remembers that the only thing that can truly defeat Mothra is Godzilla. Yeah! And he's done it 3 times. So they sent for Godzilla, but turns out he's tied up with Don King Promotions and can't possibly fight Mothra until he's had a shot at Audley Harrison. But Audley Harrison can't fight him because he's currently engaged to fight his way out of a paper bag in July. So eventually, they construct a giant 5 trillion watt light bulb, hoping to merely contain him, and put it in the middle of Norfolk. And then there's a big fight between EDF and Eon over who's going to provide the fucking power. And then an even bigger fight over what special interest group / object of ridicule / minority is actually going to screw in the light bulb, and how many will it take? And they have to decide either on the toboggan makers or waiters. They decide it takes 4 toboggan makers to screw in a light bulb, 3 to ride it, and 1 to push the fucking thing across Norfolk. And then jump on it and realize there's no fucking snow in Britain, so why the fuck would you ever erect a toboggan in Britain in the first place? There he is. My point is this, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to construct a nuclear power plant, you ought to consider not building it over a geothermal hot plate called the Ring of Fire, all right? Take Britain's example. In Britain, we build nuclear power plants where the people are already mutants. Thank you very much. Good night.
Okay, here for the weird and wacky stuff from internet, online, and all things digital. Go mad, go mental for the fabulous Andy Osho.
Week. Well, you know what it's like when you find like fun clips of like really cute kids on the internet, and they've uploaded something on YouTube. Well, this week I found something from this really sweet 10-year-old boy called Andrew. I'll just show you a little picture of Andrew first. This is Andrew. Oh, bless. And he's made something called The Andrew Show. Let's have a look. This is The Andrew Show. Oh.
Movie? No. It's called The Princess and the Frog. The princess is a black, so that is good for all the black kids out there. But the prince is white. It is all about how race mixing is good. But race mixing is wrong. And there won't be any more white kids. So don't race mix.
He's like the racist cousin of the kid from Sixth Sense. Race mixing apparently is wrong, says the ginger kid sitting with his sister on his lap. There was ever an argument for widening the gene pool, it's these two dickheads, isn't it? amazing. This has actually come. This is from a genuine channel. It's a white supremacist channel called White Pride TV. They've got other shows on the channel as well. They've got Coach Trip. Obviously, all the black people have to sit at the back. Postman Pat and his completely white cat. And then they've even got their own version of X Factor. We've got a little clip of it here for you. Is how did this little kid become so racist? You know what I mean? What happened? Did Michael Jackson not call after a sleepover or something? I don't understand. Obviously what's happened is he's been indoctrinated by his racist parents, but they're going to get their comeuppance. Because like every teenager, when he gets to 16, he's going to rebel. You can picture it now, can't you? Yeah, exactly. Mom, Dad, this is Shaniqua. And little Tyrese. Yeah. So, this week's hot app is something called Skyver. Now, basically, what it does is it creates excuses to get time off work and then texts your boss. So, yeah. But how lazy do you have to be to need an app to call in sick? You're getting a day off. The least you can do is haul yourself out of bed and make the call. Do you know what I mean? Like, and also, what boss is going to believe an automated text message? Andy will not be coming in. He or she will return to work on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, June. But the thing about calling in sick, I don't know about you, but I feel quite nostalgic about it. It's a tradition. It's a ritual. There's a ritual to it. Prep for the phone call. Obviously, telly off, right? Everyone knows sick people don't watch telly. We all know that. And then don't let yourself wake up too much as well, because then you've got the croaky voice, haven't you? Got to have the croaky voice. Everyone does the croaky voice. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not coming in. Yeah. And you do the croaky voice, whatever's wrong with you as well, don't you? Like, yeah, broken leg, yeah. It's true, so true. And then if your boss starts asking too many questions, drop the L-bomb. Boom, ladies' problems. Guaranteed conversation ender. And by the way, anyone can use that. Blokes, if you want to call in sick with ladies' problems, just do it, bruv. Do it. Yeah, all right, it's Steve. Yeah, I'm not coming in. Ladies' problems, innit? Yeah. Yeah, my girlfriend wants to get engaged. So, okay, that's been my week in the digital domain. I've been Andy Osho. Thank you very much. Good night.
Still to come, John Richardson, and tonight's special guest, Sean Walsh.
Hello and welcome back to part 3 of Stand Up for the Week. Still to come, our top special guest from the UK comedy scene, Sean Walsh. But first, it's time for our sports report with the one and only John Richardson.
Hi. Very kind. Hello, how are you? Sports. Big week for sport this week, wasn't it? Cheltenham Festival's going on and everybody's talking. Yeah, can't shut up about it, can you? The old Cheltenham Festival. Oh, Cheltenham Festival this, Cheltenham Festival that. Did you hear the story about John McCririck? He was found in one of the stables interfering with one of the horses, rubbing its cock against his sideburns. Did you not hear that? It's total bullshit, I just made it up. You got to, haven't you? Because nothing interesting or remotely amusing has ever happened in the history of horse racing. It's the most tedious, rich people in a field throwing money at a horse, drinking Guinness for a week. It's such a tedious sport. I know, yeah, have you got a tip for the 3 turns here? I'll give you a tip now that will last the rest of your horse racing career. The race will be won by a massive horse with a little angry Irish bastard on its back. And get faster, you pickle, get faster! That's all it is, right? And Tony McCoy is the sports personality of the year, right? Are you excited by that? He doesn't do anything. And in his speech, he thanked, like, trainers. He thanked, thanks to the guy who trips the shit out of the stables and the man who brings the milk for my steer. He didn't thank a single horse. Not one. You go, do you want to thank any horses? Nah, feck the horses. Feckin' horses. That is like me jumping on Peter Crouch's back before a Tottenham game and then coming off going, do you see me score them 2 goals? I was fucking amazing. The one story from the whole Cheltenham Festival broke through into major news this week, and it was the shoes that women are wearing. We've got a picture of them here. These are the shoes. They're weird, aren't they? I don't understand that women will happily wear them, but if I try and put a saddle on one of you, wriggling about, kicking off about it, you can barely get the bit between your teeth by the time you've finished. How could you possibly have sex with a woman wearing one of them without feeling like you were banging Mr. Tumnus? I can't even watch Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe now without getting a boner. Anyway, enjoy having a look at them now, because I think they'll be banned next week, because a woman, she was wearing a pair coming back from the bar, she fell over and sprained her ankle and they shot her. Dreadful. It's the only men who are aroused by women dressed as horses are footballers, and that's just because they think that is the plural of whore. It's a clever one. It's a clever one. I'm going to bang one whore or several horses. I am deciding. Yeah. See, also in the news this week, apparently there are 12 gay players in the Premier League ready to come out, but none of them wants to be first, so they're all going to wait and do it together, right? Which is... 12 is a funny number, isn't it? Because there's a chance. It's remote, but there's a chance they all play for the same team. And there'll be like this Uber Camp Spartacus moment where Gloria Gaynor will get piped in, they'll go, I actually like this. And they go, I like this. I like this. I'm coming out. I really hope it's Arsenal. If they're all gay, I hope it's Arsenal. It's quite a... Why did you whoop? Because you're a Spurs fan. Right. I mean, you've taken the homophobic angle there. I sort of meant I hope it was Arsenal because they're the best team to watch in the league. And you can't dispute that. You can't... If you're a Stoke fan, all well and good, but you play shit football. You can't... Arsenal are the best team. And if Arsenal were all gay, you'd have a change that being gay... What was that? Newcastle. Funny team, aren't they? The season they got relegated was the best season there's ever been. Just because of the Geordie accent. Just loads of Geordies on telly going, my whole life's in tatters. I know it's tragic for you, but do keep talking, because it's frankly hilarious. And Coop when there's trouble at the club. Do you mean the Grove? Anyway, I don't like that. If all Arsenal were gay, the phrase gay would come to mean simply able to go round a man and complete a decent pass. And you would actually have fans on the terraces trying to tempt their players into becoming gay in the hope that it would make them better footballers. Like, so you don't have to change the chants very much, just a little bit to like, you fit bastard, you fit bastard, the referee's a stunner. I don't even like talking about footballing because I really love football, but the problem is people take it too seriously now. It's just a game, it's just a bit of fun. There are still people out there who play football for the fun of it. Look at the happy face on these two bastards here. Look at that. They play for Tunstall Town FC, whose the combined age of their defence and goalkeepers is over 300 years old. They've played 17 times this season. They've lost 17 games. They've conceded 171 goals. They just love football, but they're shit at it, and that's all right, isn't it? No one minds. They've scored 3 goals, which clearly shows they have the ability to sort of jink into the box, but I think that happens. They get there, and they forget why they went in. They were going to sign some new players, but when the transfer window opened, one of them complained about a draft, so they had to close the window again. And they're a team that has addressed the issue of sexuality in sport. When I show you the picture of their new team coach... Yeah. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Enjoy your sport, but don't be a dick. I'll see you next week. Good night.
Okay, as always, on Stand Up Freak, we've got our top headline act to close the show, picked from the UK comedy scene, one of my favourite comics. Give it up for the sensational Sean Walsh.
Thank you. But it is lovely to be here. It really is lovely to be here. Before I continue, I think I should explain my voice. I've got a very nasally voice. People think I have a cold. I don't. I'm just really unhealthy. Like, I've cut down on smoking now. Up until I cut down, I was smoking over 40 a day. Right, that's bad. That's bad. The moment I realised, bloody hell, I need to stop, I need to cut down, I need to do something, is when I ran out of breath grating cheese. I'm dying here. It's because I'm unhealthy and I eat badly. I don't eat fruit. People say, Sean, you should eat fruit. Eat more fruit. It's good for you. Fruit's good. You're 5 a day. Fruit's good. Get you 5 a day. Fruit's good for you. Fruit's shit. I hate fruit. I don't think anyone actually likes fruit. That's why they can sell it outside the shop. That's how shit it is. No one's gonna nick it. And then you walk past, you see it, you think, I could grab that. No one's looking. There's an orange. I could really grab that. Oh, fuck, it's shit. It's not working. Imagine that was McDonald's. Fuck off. And I tried watching these cooking programmes as well. They're ridiculous. Who watches these cooking programmes? They expect you to have the ingredients. Just there, ready. They don't tell you, even in the previous episode, what to bring. It's like when you're a kid and you're watching Art Attack. He goes, today, we're going to be using 100 toilet rolls. What the fuck? I want a cooking programme for people that actually don't know how to cook. That'd be a lot more useful. Get home drunk at 3 in the morning. Turn on the television, just some bloke in his kitchen. Hello, mate. Welcome to the cooking programme. Basically, I've put some sausage rolls in the microwave. The best thing about sausage rolls is, and listen carefully, this is a big tip. The best thing about sausage rolls is whilst they're cooking, you can eat them cold. Join me next week and bring some sausage rolls. We're obsessed with health, aren't we? And fitness as well. People have gone mad for fitness. Even computer games today are designed so that you actually have to do the thing. I don't want to do the thing. I want to sit down and eat pizza. I'm running around the living room going... People go on about how it's like the real thing as well. Like my friend Dave brought round the Nintendo Wii, so it's like the real thing. Look, when it's tennis game, it's like the real thing. Look. Like the real thing, is it, Dave? I've watched a lot of tennis. I've never seen Andy Murray smash my fish tank. I prefer the old consoles, like the Mega Drive. Yes. Those were the days when something didn't work, you blew into it. Look, it's fucked. Even with the video machines, when the video wasn't working, one person was nominated to get up off the sofa. Oh, for fuck's sake. Open up the flap. They know this as well. That's why as technology's evolved, you have to blow less when it's broken. Hey, DVD. Sorry. Quality. HD. My favourite game on the Mega Drive was Mortal Kombat. This was brilliant. The difference between this beat-em-up and any other beat-em-up was you didn't just beat your opponent until he died. You beat him into a coma. Where you could do anything you wanted to him. This wasn't fair. Do you remember this? Finish him. This gave you about 10 seconds to type in this secret combo that would kill your opponent in spectacular fashion. The problem was, no one knew the secret combo. So all that happened is we'd finish him. We had one bloke on one side of the screen just going, I am fucked. 10 yards down the other side of the screen, your guy just going, I don't know what... Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Sean Walsh. Have a good night.
Give up for Sean Walsh. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Good night. God bless. Cheers.
And we do it all again next Saturday, so stand up for the week at the slightly later time of 11. Next on For California, the ultimate road movie. Strap yourself in with Brad Pitt and David Duchovny. We're in for a bumpy ride.